that they're putting 3 mobile phone masts into every classroom all across Northern Ireland, and that's okay. I think once they find out, you're going to find there's going to be litigation and there's going to be a lot of trouble here. And in England, they had a teacher who, when they turned the Wi-Fi on, he instantly became seriously ill. And when he went home at night, he suddenly felt fantastic. He had to finally stop going into the classroom. And they finally disconnected the Wi-Fi. And as soon as they did, he suddenly got better. Now, I don't know how many times this is going to be replicated throughout our school system. But I think we need a health and safety reassurances that there's nothing happening here, because the Panorama don't do shows about nothing. I'd also say that a number of schools in England have now taken out Wi-Fi after parents have expressed concerns about the health fears for their children. The European Environment Agency had put out a warning, European-wide, warning all citizens of Europe to avoid contact with Wi-Fi, mobile phones, and mobile phone masts. And they said failure to reduce our exposure to asbestos. That's the European Environment Agency, the prestigious watchdog agency for Europe. I guess I've said just about enough, and I'd like to get Jim Shannon up on his feet here, because he's sponsored this in this hall, and he has sponsored my questions and done a lot in relationship to this. And he has another angle to this. But I'd also like to make one announcement before I do sit down. And that's just to say that at the end of this presentation, I'd like to invite all the Northern Ireland principals who have the members of the teachers' unions who've made the trip, and NIPSA, and the Children's Commissioner, to come, and also HH&D, to come to have that happen. We want you to assemble up at the front here, and we're going to have you escorted to another room on the next floor up for another half-hour meeting with Professor Johansson, so that you'll have an opportunity to ask him questions up close, and possibly even find another way forward from where we stand right now, which is irradiating all the children, waiting to see how many die. I don't think that's the way this should be done. I really think we've got to have some safety testing in here. In fact, drugs, before they go on the market, they get 10 years of safety testing. But a technology doesn't have to be safety tested at all. I don't think that's good enough when our children are at risk here. And certainly there's a risk, or there wouldn't be a Panorama show, and we wouldn't have Professor Johansson coming all the way from Stockholm to talk about something that doesn't exist. So, please, I'd like you to welcome up Jim Shannon, and then Professor Johansson. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I apologise first of all for being quarter to 10 and not to be late. And I was late, I was in trouble, so I'm probably in very deep trouble now, Walter, my apologies. But there was a photo shoot organised for down in Newton Ards, and unfortunately the guy didn't arrive in time. So as a sponsor for this event, I would just like to first of all extend a very, very warm welcome to everyone who's here today, to MLAs, to all the ladies and gentlemen, and to our esteemed guests as well. Can I say, Ola, that and it's Olle Johansson. Now, I'm just sitting, as I was walking up this morning, and I was getting out of my car, and the snow was coming down. I said to myself, "My goodness, this man's brought the snow with him as well." But if you have brought the snow, take it back with you again. We don't want it. At least I don't want it anyway. I know my kids want it, but myself, unfortunately, I've got a bit older, and I'm not so sure if the snow is a big attraction anymore. But again, it's a real pleasure to have you here, and thank you very, very much for coming as well. To hear some of the thoughts of Professor Johansson, I think will be deeply inspirational, like what he's got to say. I would also like to pay credit to Walter. Walter has been the guy who's kept me in that I'm aware of the issues. I have to say that some of the issues are not always at first are they easy to take in, and that's been perhaps maybe one of the things. So you have to look at it, and to him especially, Walter, can I thank you very much for all that you've done in relation to highlighting the issue with your energy and your perseverance, I have to say as well. But you're renowned for able to do that as well. Whenever I was first told about the issues in relation to the school children and the young people and the effects that Wi-Fi and the electronic system was having upon them, I had to take it all in. I was shocked by what I heard. I was for the school children, and I was more than happy to put all those questions to the Minister. I was unhappy with her response, but I was happy to put them to her to make sure that she was aware of it. And indeed, I suppose many of us had thought of the danger